everyone, welcome to Evolve Yoga 2. I'm Jana. These movements and postures are built on the foundation of Evolve Yoga 1. They're a little bit more challenging, so we want to make sure that you have a background in yoga or have completed the Evolve Yoga 1 without much difficulty. Just remember, by being here today, you've made the commitment to practice yoga, which means you've made the commitment to evolve your mind and your body. We're going to take you through a bunch of different postures, and we're going to give you modifications, starting with Mod 1 being the easiest, Mod 3 being the most challenging. And just remember that if you're a Mod 3 in your strength and your agility, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a Mod 3 with yoga. You might have to mod down, or you can always evolve up. Of course, we have our Mod 1 here, Allison, right? A little bit of yoga experience.
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit of yoga experience, fitness background. This is your girl. All right, and then we have Marv back here. He's our Mod 2. Hey, Marv.
Hi.
I like to touch you right here. He's
Right
strong.
ahead.
So if you're strong, you've done some yoga, this is your guy. And then we have a beautiful Steph over here.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
So she is your yogi. She's the one, she teaches yoga. If you have lots of yoga experience, right? You have those nice, long, flexible muscles. This is your girl here. Just always remember to mod down, evolve up. Most important thing about yoga is to be aware of your body. Make sure that everything feels safe. Make sure that you're practicing with precision. And at any time, if you're confused or you need some help, come see me in the tutorials, and we'll make sure that you're practicing safely. All right, you guys ready to get going?
Ready.
All right, starting with mountain posture, our foundation posture. So just come into a neutral position, making sure the toes are pointing straight forward. Reach those hands down by your hips and dorsiflex the hand, opening right away through that front line. And just close your eyes for a moment and just start to breathe in and out through your nose. So moving right away into that yoga breathing, starting to inhale and exhale through the nose. The mouth stays closed. Good. And as you're breathing here, just setting up for the entire series by actively pushing your feet down into the floor, feeling that resurgence of energy move all the way through to the crown of your head. Taking 2 more breaths here. Good. And then we'll just start with a little bit of a warm-up. So coming from mountain position, just reach those arms up overhead, dorsiflex the hands. A little soft bend into the knees, hinge forwards from the hips. And then just lift the chest up halfway, and then exhale, step back into that plank position. And we'll just hold here for a little bit. Again, right away, just isolating those core muscle groups, hugging the navel. This is your Mod 3. She's in a full plank position. And then we have Mod 1 over here.
You see how she's on her knees, but she's holding that same plank position.
And then as you exhale, lowering the chest down towards the floor. And then inhale, opening up through the chest and coming into your spinal extension. Take 1 breath here. As you exhale, use your core, not momentum. Lift your hips up and back and come into a downward facing dog. Once you're here, let's cleanse the breath. Take a big inhale, everybody. Open the jaw and just release here. So right away, moving into our breath. Good. This downward dog, so you're looking at symmetry here. The heels are directly behind the sits bones. Hands are pointing forward. If you're a little bit tighter in the body and you know you have tight hamstrings, you're going to make sure that we have that bend into the knees.
As we're seeing Marvin here in Mod 2.
Take 1 more breath here. At the bottom of your exhale, use your core. Step the feet between your hands. Come forward. Lift and extend the spine. Hands right onto the quadriceps. Extend, and then just exhale, a little pulse here. Lift up towards the ceiling. Reach your arms up overhead, and then right into a second one. Fold forward, exhale. Good. Inhale, lift and lengthen your spine. Come up halfway, a little pulse. Just fold halfway down. Lift back up. Great. And then exhale, bend your knees, place your hands to the floor, and come into your second plank position. Holding here for a breath. Bend your elbows, lower down, lower the chest to the floor. Good. Inhale into your spinal extension, either baby cobra or upward facing dog.
Depending on your comfort level.
So this is our Mod 2, not full extension into the elbows. The elbows stay bent a little bit. Good. Holding here for 1 more breath. Back of the neck stays nice and long. Beautiful. And then exhale, lift the hips up and back. Come into downward facing dog. Beautiful. Once you get here, cleanse the breath. Take a big inhale, you guys. Let it go. Big exhale. Good. So this is our Mod 3 with Stephanie here. She has this room in the backs of her legs to really extend through the legs. The heels are almost reaching down towards the floor.
Whereas my friend here in Mod 1
Might have a little bit of a tighter back body, so the knees are going to stay bent. The arms actually can even go wider apart here, Allison. And that's if you have really tight shoulders, go ahead and just widen those hands so your shoulders have a space here to move. Take 1 more breath. Great. And then as you exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Step or walk your feet back towards your hands. Feet are hip distance apart. Once you get here, lift and extend the spine. Your hands are on your quads, not on your knees. And then exhale, just fold. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, come all the way up. Number 3, fold forward, exhale. Find your breath. Inhale, lift and extend the spine. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to the floor, plank position. Again, just holding here for breath. Feel really strong into your core. Your elbows stay tucked into the ribs. The chest comes towards the floor. And then transition into your upward dog. From here, squeeze the hip bones together, downward facing dog. Take a big inhale. Let it go. Open your jaw. Ha sound, exhale. So right away in your downward facing dog, you want to shift your eyes just somewhere between your knees. So you're looking backwards and you're trying to still your eyes. So we talk about monkey mind all the time, right? So if your eyes are shifting around all of the time, your mind's going to follow that pattern. So to set up kind of this practice of yoga, of kind of being in your space, almost like a moving meditation, just right away still your eyes. Just look between the backs of your legs. Let your eyes focus on one spot, and then practice seeing everything in your peripheral while maintaining relaxation in the face. Take one more breath here, you guys. Good. And then bend your knees, look forward. Come back towards the top of the mat. Once you get here, feet are hip distance apart. Lift and extend the spine. Exhale, little pulse. Push into the feet. Circle the arms up overhead. Big breath in. And then big exhale, mountain posture. And we'll stay here. Take a breath. Big inhale. Big exhale, let it go. Good. So just look down at your toes. So we want to make sure that we start with the foundation, right? So mountain posture, big toes are in line with one another. Heels are directly behind the sits bones. Good. Back of the neck is long. From here, we want to set up for some lateral bend. So reach those arms up overhead, lift out of your waist, and then exhale, we'll just lean to the right, stretching through the left side of the body. Good. And then once you're here, actively push into the foot. Think about a little more weight into that left foot as you breathe through the whole left side of the body. Focusing on breathing into those intercostals, creating space to breathe. This is so good for your respiratory system. Breath volume, endurance, fantastic stuff happening here. Take one more breath. To come through center, push through your feet, reset, and then we'll go right to the other side. Take an inhale. Your exhales move you into gravity. So this is your mod 3. This is Stephanie. She's going to have a little bit more flexion into the spine, right? If you know that you have a little bit less mobility in your spine, you're going to just have a little bit less bend into the spine, but you're still getting the same benefit opening through the right and left side of the body. Good. That's your mod 1. Allison, take one more breath, you guys. Good. And then pushing through your feet, come back to center, and we'll go for that spinal extension. Reach those arms up overhead. Take a breath. From here, you're just lifting up and over, just opening now through the front body. Good. So again, thinking of the whole thoracic wall here, right? All of those muscles between your ribs. We're opening the respiratory system before we move forward with the practice. So creating space in between the rib cage so you can use your breath more effectively. Great, so this is good for anyone. If you have any kind of breathing dysfunction, any type of asthma, this is an awesome movement to open through that respiratory system, breathing right up through to the top of your chest. Take one more breath, you guys. Beautiful. And then coming out of these back extensions with mindfulness, right? Use your core. Squeeze your belly in, come back to neutral mountain position. Take a breath, let that go. Big inhale, big exhale. Breathe. You look so beautiful when you do that, Steph. Do it one more time. Just kidding. All right, so let's transition. We're going to move into the lunge series. So we'll take you through a cycle, keeping the body warm. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Big exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Inhale, lift and extend the spine. Exhale, step back to plank position. Take a breath here, shift forward, lowering down towards the floor. Inhale into your spinal extension. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath, big inhale. Let it go, exhale. Coming into the lunge series. So step your right foot forward. So again, if the hip is really tight, you're just gonna reach around and help that foot forward. Maybe a little micro bend into that left knee, coming up into a lunge position, holding here. So we're into a high lunge position. So this is gonna help you with all of your evolved movements, right? You're doing tons of lunges, and now we get the opportunity just to hold this lunge statically. So we really work on precision of alignment here. What's happening in our body in terms of our feet and our pelvis and our shoulders. So the symmetry here, we want the left heel bone behind the left sit bone, and your right knee is tracking over the second and third toe. And the navel's pulled in, you're protecting that vulnerable lumbar curve. Holding here for one more breath. Our mod 2 here with Marvin, if the shoulders are tight, you're just dropping your arms a little bit, taking the pressure off the shoulders. The action is in the feet and in the legs. From here, coming into a low lunge. So all you're gonna do is keep your leg position, tilt forward from the pelvis, and just maintain your legs as you move the upper body. Good. Holding here. So think about creating this symmetry in the body, yeah? If we have symmetry in our body, we start to see a huge impact in body efficiency. Our body starts to move with more ease because all of the mechanics of the body are working properly. So think of this as an awesome body efficiency treatment for your body, this yoga stuff. Take 2 more breaths here. And if you're starting to get tired, maybe just take a little break. Bend your back knee. If you feel like you're even getting more tired, find your breath. Your breath is what's gonna keep you here. Good. Good, take 1 more breath. Great. And then from here, lowering down into that plank position. Place the hands down, you're stepping back into your plank. Good, lowering down through push-up into your upward dog. This is stuff you've seen in this program, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Take a breath, you guys. Open the jaw, let it go, exhale. So your downward dog is like that pike position that you've been doing in your evolved strength, agility, and core. Good. Keeping the hips lifted, the actions in the feet, push into the feet, push into the hands. And we'll do the other side. So step the left foot forward through the hands. If the foot gets stuck, just go ahead, help that foot through. Bend your back knee if you know your hip flexors are tight. Reach the arms up and come into your high lunge, holding here. With this foundation stuff that we're doing, when you start to build strength in your lower body and you feel really stable in your lower body, the movements in the upper body become a lot easier, right? And it's all about connecting the mind and the body. So while you're holding these postures, it's a demand on our mind, right? We want to come out of the posture. That's our first instinct. As soon as your instinct is to come out of the posture, try to stay a little bit longer. That's when your body's going to evolve. That's when your body's going to change. So as soon as you feel like you want to come out, try to hold for at least 2 more breaths. You're doing great. Breathing here, actually push down into your feet, take 1 more breath. And then we go right into the low lunge from here. So starting to lean forward. Great. So this is your mod 1. So if you're a little bit tighter into the hips, right? You're not gonna have as much distance between the feet. You're gonna not have as much hinge from the hips. And the arms are gonna be down by the side, but we're still getting the same benefit. We're still stabilizing the lower body while we're moving the upper body. Great. How you feeling here, Alison? Are you getting tired?
I'm feeling it in my legs, that's for sure.
That's right, yeah, and it's good. It looks like nothing's happening here, but there's a lot happening. How you doing, Marvin?
Great.
And this is the challenge with yoga. It's while we're challenging the physical body is to keep the face calm. So the first place we hold tension is our face. We think by like squeezing our cheeks and our face together that we're gonna get more movement. But actually by relaxing the face and keeping the eyes soft, again, think of body efficiency. We're using less energy by not pushing those muscles of the face together. So you're pushing and exerting that energy into your feet, into your lower body. This is great. This is your mod 3. She's got more range of motion, longer distance between the feet. Awesome. And then let's transition. Bring your hands to the floor and we'll go through a cycle. Step back to your plank position. Take a breath here. Cycle through. Lower the chest to the floor. Push in into your upward dog. Back of the neck is long. Knees are lifted up off the floor. Exhale, downward facing dog. As soon as you get your downward dog, take an inhale, let it go, ha sound, exhale.
By now, the downward dog should feel like a resting position for you.
All right, so setting up for the next series. So from our downward dog, you're gonna lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. We're coming into a one-legged downward dog. Plant or flex your foot at this point. Make sure you have a micro bend into your left knee if you know your hamstrings are tight. And slowly just start to open the hip. Thinking of theory of opposition here, if we squeeze the glute, the hip will open. If you relax the glute, the hip's gonna fall to the floor.
Think of squeezing that right glute.
to keep that front hip nice and open. Good. So as you can see with our mod 3 here, she's got this range of motion in the hip. Now, if your hips are a little bit tight, right, which is most of us, you're not going to have much range of motion, but we're just practicing opening the hip. Everybody squeeze your glute out, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lift that hip, point the toes a little bit more, find that range of motion. Great. And now setting up for the warrior series. So go ahead, look forward. So look to where you want to go. Step that right foot through the hands. Good. And now setting up your articulation with the feet. So the heel to heel alignment, right knee pointing over the second, third toe, coming into your warrior 2 series. Good. Opening here. Good. Holding here. So the warrior series is a hip opening series, right? So we're stabilizing through the lower bodies and just letting those hips open very naturally, just by using breath and this foundation of the legs. And now we're gonna dance the warrior. So inhale, you're gonna reach that right arm up. Exhale, you're gonna come back to warrior 2. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, extended angle. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, drop into the hips. Inhale, come into your reverse warrior. So just breathe and move. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, extended angle. Find your breath. Inhale. Exhale, drop into the hips a little more. Good. Inhale, reverse warrior. Keep moving your body. Exhale. And it doesn't have to look pretty, right? Just keep moving. The important part was that you're breathing and you're moving. Let's do one more. Come all the way back up. Reverse warrior. Back to your warrior 2. Let's hold the warrior 2. We'll transition. So pivot on the back foot. Bring your left arm up and over. Place the hands to the floor. Step back to plank. Take an inhale, let it go. And we'll cycle through. Come through to the floor. Push up into your spinal extension. Upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a big inhale, guys. Let it go. Setting up for the other side. Lifting that left leg up off the floor. Right away, plantar flex that left foot. Bend your knee and start to open the hip. So think your favorite dog on a fire hydrant here, yeah? That's a nice thought, I know. So again, really opening through the hips here with natural range of motion. Don't force this. If right away, like red flag, right? If you're feeling something in your shoulders right now, your hip's not ready for this movement. So just come out and hold your downward facing dog. Safety in the body first, right? And then let's move into that warrior series. So look forward, step the left foot through the hands. Place your right foot onto the floor, making sure the heels are in alignment. Left knee's tracking over second, third toe, warrior 2. As soon as you get here, take a breath. Big inhale. Let it go, exhale. All right, and let's dance. You're the dancer, right?
Yeah.
Watch this one. Inhale, reverse warrior. Good. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, you reach, reach, reach. Create space. Exhale, extended angle. The eyes follow the movement. Inhale, lift up. Drop into the hips. Exhale, beautiful. Inhale, reverse warrior. Breathe through that left rib cage. Exhale. Take a big inhale. And exhale. So this is your mod 1, right? A little bit less range of motion in the legs, a little bit less range of motion in the arms, but we're still stabilizing and moving that upper body. Good. Holding in your warrior 2 position. It's a beautiful thing when we feel stable in our lives, we can transition and move our bodies even better, right? From here, transitioning from our warrior 2, take the cycle. So pivot on your back foot, reach that right arm up and forward, step back to your plank. Take a breath here, big inhale, and cycle through. Exhale, lower chest to floor. Inhale into your upward dog. Use your core, not momentum. Squeeze your hips together, downward facing dog. As soon as you get to your down dog, take a breath. Big inhale. Let it go. Big exhale. Good. Big inhale. Let it go. Exhale. Good.
So it's like letting go of all that physical exertion in one breath.
Sometimes that's the easiest way to let go of stress. It's just through the exhale. Take a breath. Great. And then we'll transition back up to mountain posture. So look forward. Just step or walk your feet back towards the top. Feet are hip distance apart. Lift and extend the spine. Come up halfway. A little pulse here. And then reach your arms up overhead. Come back down through mountain posture. Good, so you can see with a traditional mountain posture and an evolved mountain posture, there's a little bit of difference here. We're continually trying to keep the hands in dorsal flexion. So again, really using all of these tools and these techniques to open that front body that for most of us is in forward flexion all day, every day. So even just by standing here, dorsal flexing the hands, you're getting that nice stretch through the whole front of the body.
And you're strengthening all those important back muscles that keep us from hunching forward.
And then let's go into those awesome hamstrings. Why? Because we love our hamstrings. All right, so big step to the right. You're gonna make a distance between your feet. So if you brought your arms out, your ankles would be right underneath the wrist bone. So that's where we're going, you guys. If you know right away you're uber tight in the backs of your legs, go ahead and bend the knees. And now take an inhale, lift the chest up, find that dorsiflexion the best you can in your hands, and start to hinge from the hips, folding forward, coming into a nice little stretch for the hamstrings. Great. So the biggest mistake that you can make with stretching your hamstrings is flexing that spine. So by keeping the spine nice and long, you're going to ensure that you're not pulling on the lower back. If the hamstrings are tight, it's gonna pull your lower back. So you're trying to maintain this length into the spine. Now you'll notice here with Steph, she's almost hyperextending her knees. So if you know you're super flexible and you're at a mod 3, I challenge you to just bend your knees a little bit. Bend your knees even more, Steph, and then roll your weight more to the fronts of the feet. And then we get this theory of opposition. The quadriceps are going to engage to prevent you from falling on your face, which means the hamstrings will just open on their own. It's not a forced stretch. It's using our body mechanics to stretch the body. Take one more breath. This is our mod 2, a little bit less flexibility. Feet are a little bit closer together. Good, but we still keep this length into the spine. So this is the consistency between all 3 mods. It's all about the spine. It's keeping this length and this integrity into each posture. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And now to come out, use kinetic energy. Push into the floor. Feel that energy rebound up through the body. Feel that energy lift the torso. And then from here, once your torso is lifted, take a big inhale. Let it go. Big exhale. Come on up. There you go. She wanted to stay there all day long. Her hamstrings are happy. All right, coming into this groin stretch. So just leaning over to the right, the arms can stay in the same position. And we just want a nice stretch here for the inner thighs. So make sure your toes are pointing straight forward. So we're just gonna break this one down. So this is very similar to all those side lunges that you've been doing in your Evolve program. So thinking about this alignment, the knee is over the second, third toe, your left toes are pointing straight forward, so turn the left toes in a little bit more. That's it, good. And again, keeping this nice long spine. Great. How you doing here, Marv?
Solid.
Solid. Do you feel a stretch here in your groin?
Yeah.
Good. So again, you need to go inwards for a second. If you feel any pulling on the inside of your knee, you need to bend that knee, okay? So just check in with your body right now and start to understand the difference between a pull and a stretch, right? If there's anything going around your joints, or the ankles or the knees, you need to modify. So either mod down. If you don't feel enough of a stretch, evolve up.
So as we see here in mod 3, you get more range of motion between the feet
and really feel this action in the groin. Good. And then let's switch sides. So just push into your feet, go all the way over to the other side. Great. And then try not to hang out in your lower back here. So continually draw the belly button in. Again, as soon as you hang out in your joints, you're gonna compress the spine. So think about length into the body at all times. Beautiful. And as you're here and you're holding statically and you're really happy with me because your legs are burning, think about all the muscle memories you're creating. So as you take this program into the rest of the Evolve, into your agility and your strength and your core, we're creating these fantastic muscle memories. So your body remembers being here. So again, this is a huge technique for injury prevention and body efficiency. Good. Take 2 more, you guys. Find your feet. As soon as you feel like you want to come out, just stay, right? You're doing a great job. Find your feet. Find your breath. Good. All right, and then pushing through to center. So again, coming out of these with awareness. The body's been there for a while. Come through center, pause, take a breath, and then heel toe your feet together. Safety first, step up. Good, find your mountain position. Right away, just let that go. And now we'll move into our next series of postures and transitions. So let's start in mountain posture, starting with those feet hip distance apart, toes pointing forward, Hands by the hips. Let's breathe. Close your eyes. Find your breath. Hear your breath come in through the nose and out through the nose. And right away, find your feet. So actually push your feet down into the floor. Feel that energy rebound up through the body. Great. Reaching those arms up overhead. Open your eyes, circle the arms up. Exhale, a little micro bend into the knees, hinge from the hips. A little pulse here. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, step back to your plank position. Pause here for breath. Find your strength. Shift forward. Use your exhale, lowering down towards the floor. Inhale into your upward facing dog. Exhale, use your core. Downward facing dog. Take a big inhale here. Big exhale, let it go. Good. So thinking of your downward dog as this transition posture. You're not hanging in the joints here. You're actively pushing your feet down into the floor. As you push your feet into the floor, feel this movement into the pelvis. And if your shoulders are feeling tight, widen your arms, maybe even turn your palms out slightly. Work within your body's limitations, right? The whole point of yoga is giving yourself the opportunity to go inwards. Check in. What's happening? Maybe you need to mod down here. Maybe you're feeling really flexible today and you feel like you could evolve up. Again, our bodies change from day to day, so just take note of how you're feeling today. Take a breath here. And then let's transition into this lunge series. So step your right foot all the way through your hands. Bend your back knee if your hips are tight. Reach your arms up overhead and come into the infamous lunge position. You guys are gonna dream about this posture. Good. Taking a few breaths, feeling really strong in your body. Push your feet down into the floor. Good. If we look at our mod 2 back here, try to lift out of the hips just a little bit. He's got a little bit of mobility at the hips because he's a dancer. If you know you're a little bit more flexible, challenge yourself and stay out of the posture. It's easy for people who are flexible like Stephanie to really get low and hang out there, but we're gonna challenge the body and stay supported and use the core to stay strong. Great. And now coming into this rotation for the spine, so we're gonna stabilize through the lower body. Reach your arms straight out in front of you, door as I flex the hands. From here, you're gonna draw your right arm out like a bow and arrow. So you open through the shoulders first, and then extend your right arm. That's the rotation that your shoulders are permitting your spine to have at this point. Stay here for a breath. And now lean forward. Push your left heel into an imaginary wall behind you. Find your opposition. And then from here, without collapsing the torso, bring your left hand down onto the inside of that right leg while you reach the right arm up. Good. And we're gonna keep the hand on the inside of the knee, just so we don't get that internal rotation. Again, this Evolve Yoga program is all about keeping the external rotation of the shoulders. So we're finding every opportunity that we can to keep those shoulders open. Great. From here, your eyes are just gonna look past your right middle finger. So wherever that looks, so in your mod 2, you have a little bit more opening into the shoulders here. Your eyes are looking backwards. And this is gonna challenge your balance, right? The eyes wanna shift forward. Mod 3 here, she's got more range of motion. The fingertips are almost touching the floor and her hand is almost directly behind the shoulders, which gives me the evidence that she's got lots of rotation in her spine here. Nice open shoulders. Good. Holding here for 2 more breaths. Great. Again, just as you feel like you want to come out of the posture, see if you could stay here. Find your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Takes a little bit of determination, even just to hold these static postures. You're doing a great job. 1 more breath, you guys. And then to come back through center, bring that right hand back down towards the left, and then we'll just cycle through. Step the hands down, step the right foot back. Take a breath here, big inhale, and now cycle through. Lower the chest towards the floor. Inhale, you're here. Maybe you extend all the way up. Check in with your body. Exhale, downward facing dog. As soon as you get to that down dog, take an inhale, clench the breath, just let it go. Exhale. Good. So as you can see here with Allison, she's got a little bit tighter hamstrings, so you can see a little bit of rounding in her spine here. So if we just bend the knees a little bit, lift your sit bones up, push your sit bones into my fingers, you can see how the spine starts to lengthen here. So kind of check in with your body right now. See if your spine is really rounded. If it is, please bend your knees. Accommodate the tight body, right? Take 2 more breaths. Beautiful, 1 more breath. And then we'll set up for the other side. So go ahead, step the left foot forward through the hands. Bend that back knee, reach those arms up overhead, coming into your lunge position. Hello.
Hello.
And this is your mod 2. So again, we know the shoulders are a little bit tighter, so we're gonna accommodate. We're gonna have the arms a little bit wider apart. Good, again, find that core, pull that belly button in. Push down into your feet and feel that energy rebound up through the body. Great. And this is an awesome opportunity to connect with your feet, right? If you're feeling kind of scattered in your life or you feel like you just can't catch your breath, these standing positions are great to root you, right? You're pushing your feet down. You're creating some energy with the stabilizers in our body, which are also the stabilizers in our roots in our life, right? So actively push your feet down into the floor. Good. And then when we find this stabilization in the body, we're able to move the upper body with more freedom. So from here, bringing the arms forward, draw that left elbow back like a bow and arrow, and then open the arm. So by bringing that arm back like a bow and arrow, you're creating the best opportunity for your body to open organically. We're not forcing the body into any position it's not ready to. Go. And now lean forward. From here, try not to collapse into the torso. Then place your right arm down on the inside of that left leg. Lift the left arm up and then look up. And this is your mod 3 here, Steph. She's got more flexibility in the hips, shoulders and wrists, opening up that left side of her body. Notice what happens here if you just draw the belly button into your lower back. Good. Do you feel that rotation into your spine? So again, these little cues, they're really small, and sometimes we don't need to make huge movements to find subtle changes in our body, right? The littlest things, like finding one little movement to invigorate the core, can change the entire dynamic position of the body. So take the time in your yoga practice and find the small things. Find your feet, find your toes, find your belly button, right? And then find your breath. Good, one more. Great, and then coming out of this with a lot of awareness, look down, bring that left hand down beside the right, plant the hands, and step back into your plank position. Good, take a breath here, you guys. Big inhale, good. Big exhale, cycle through, lowering chest to floor. Inhale into your upward dog, back of the neck stays long, push into the hands. Exhale, squeeze your hips together, downward facing dog. Take a breath here, big inhale, let it go, exhale. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Jana. We're just hanging out.
We're just gonna hang out.
Feels good.
Good. Find some friends in your downward dog. It's a perfect place to find friends. Good. Take 2 more breaths here. Good. Be a dog. Dogs are happy, right? We love our dogs. All right, so let's move forward. You guys step your feet back forward towards your hands. Lift and lengthen the spine. Inhale, extend. A little pulse here. Reach the arms up overhead. Big inhale. And exhale back into your mountain posture. Take a breath. Breathe. Big inhale. Let it go. Big exhale. Good. You just saw Steph adjust her feet here. So just really good. Again, we're trying to create this muscle memory. We build foundation from the feet up, right? Ankles on feet, knees on ankles, hips on knees, working the kinetic chain. Good. Take 2 more breaths here. All right, smile. Smiling makes you look younger. Good. All right, so let's move into this triangle. So starting from your mountain position, step your left foot back. So same positioning, almost like that warrior series, just a little shorter distance between the feet. We're still looking for this heel to heel alignment. Your right knee is tracking over the second and third toe. The arms are gonna come out, external rotation of those arms, maybe dorsiflexion flexion of the hands if that feels good in your body today. And now reach your right hand forward like someone's pulling your right hand forward. And then without collapsing in the torso, place your right hand down on the inside of the right foot and lift that left arm up. So from here, actively push your feet down into the floor. We're working into the core now. So gravity wants to pull the torso down. So we're using our core to stabilize here. Transitioning into a mountain posture from here. So go ahead and look down at your right foot. Start to transfer your weight. Maybe test the waters here a few times. You're gonna lift that left leg up off the floor eventually. Maybe lifting that left leg up to hip height and opening the whole left side of the body. Again, your action is in the back foot. So again, think about that back foot. Dorsiflex that back foot. And then find your alignment even here. So as you can see with our mod 1 here, there's a little bit less opening to the hips. This is fine. She's still maintaining the balance. Try not to hold your breath. The first thing to go with balance is breath. It's like, oh, we're gonna balance, I'm gonna hold my breath. See if you could breathe longer. Inhale, exhale. Beautiful. Here's more of our M2. Legs still up there. The arms just aren't open as much. 1 more breath, you guys. coming out of this with a lot of safety. Pause, red flag. Bend your right knee first, then step the left foot back. Take a breath, big inhale. Drop the arms, you guys, relax. And then step towards the top, coming back into your mountain position. Breathe, take a breath, and let go, exhale. And we'll go to the other side. So step the right foot back. Same alignment with the feet, toes pointing forward. Reach those arms out. Reach the left hand forward. It's like your femur bone is moving into your hip socket. When there's no more range of motion, just place the left fingertips down. Reach the right arm up. Good. So again, if you need more instruction or a little bit more information, pop to the tutorials and come see me. We'll give you a breakdown of each of the modifications, making sure that you're practicing that proper alignment.
We're using the core to stabilize the body and maintain this posture.
Think of all the core work you've done in all your evolved programming. It gives you confidence, right? It gives you strength in your body, which gives you strength in your life. So stay here, breathe. Good. Transitioning now into our half moon. So take a peek down at your left foot. Take a little micro bend into that left knee and start to transfer your weight onto that left foot. Maybe you pick the right foot up and you try it and you place it back down. Maybe in one breath, you transition into that opening position. So again, we're stabilizing, right? That left knee and hip and ankle, all the muscles around this joint are doing everything they possibly can to stabilize those joints that are so vulnerable. So again, this is great foundation training for all of your other agility, strength, and core stuff that you're doing in the Evolve program. Stay here for 2 more breaths, you guys. You're doing great. If you fall out, who cares? It doesn't matter. No one's watching. Just get back up and do it again. Now bend your left knee, step your right foot back. Good. Step your right foot forward to mountain, and let's transition. Take a breath. Big inhale. Let it go, everybody. Pick your right leg up. You're gonna reach your right hand maybe for the inside of your right foot, maybe for the outside of the foot. Pick that opposite arm up. Doors, I flex the hand. I need you to go inside your bodies. So if you know you have tight shoulders and tight hips, you're gonna be with my friend Allison here. You're just gonna come into a nice gentle stretch for the quad. This is the mod 1. The hand is straight up and down. Even here, though, spread the fingers. Good. And then right away, you're gonna check in with your knee. If there is any pulling in your knee at all, you're gonna come out of the posture. The other thing you can do here is doors, I flex the foot. So try to draw. So come out of the posture for a second, Allison. And as you grab your foot, see if you could actually keep the foot flexed. Good. That's gonna keep your knees nice and safe. Great. And then slowly coming out of this with a lot of awareness. Draw your core in. Come back into mountain posture. Take a breath, you guys. Big inhale. Let it go. Big exhale. And we'll do the other side. So for the mod 3, you're externally rotating the shoulder. You're picking up the left foot. Your doors are flexing the foot to protect the knee at all times. Maybe the knees start touching, you feel a stretch into the shoulder, then the right arm reaches up. And maybe you just stay here. This is a great place to stay. If you feel like you have the range of motion in your body, you're gonna start to lean forward and kick that left heel up towards the ceiling.
If you look at the difference here between this and the traditional dancer's pose that you might see in other yoga programs, we're looking for dorsal flexion of the hands here.
External rotation in both shoulders, right? Opening through that front body. Good, and then find the breath, right? If you're starting to feel a little wobbly, it's okay. Just come out of the posture and try again. All right, you guys, holding for 1 more breath. And then coming out with awareness. So draw your core in slowly. Don't let your legs spring away. Step back into mountain. Take a breath, you guys. Big inhale. Let it go. Big exhale. Moving into tree posture. So back into balance here. So right away, stand into that left leg a lot. And then you're gonna either rest your right heel onto the inside of your left heel and the arms might come down. Maybe you're all the way in mod 3, the arms are up. You're gonna pick up that right foot and place it right onto the inner thigh of that left leg, reaching the arms up overhead. So thinking of your balance, think of opposition, right? If you actively push your left foot down into the floor, that energy is gonna rebound up through the body and keep you really stable. And then the opposition points to the midline of the body. Push the heel of that foot into the inner thigh. That's gonna keep the pelvis stable. As your arms are lifted up overhead, keep the shoulders down and back, keeping the shoulder stability. So your body feels completely stable. You probably feel like you could stay here for years, like a tree. Good, right? Step. And you know what, if your balance is off today, it's probably just something that's going on in your life. So it doesn't matter what it looks like today. Every single day, it's going to change, right? We change and we evolve day to day. So do what's in your body today. Great. And then slowly transitioning out. Come back through mountain posture. Let that go. It's in the past. It doesn't matter anymore. Take a breath, you guys. Big inhale. Let it go. Big exhale to the other side. Bring your weight into the right foot. And then do whatever you did on the other side. Just make sure that you're practicing the symmetry into the body. Good. So if you're here, if you're mod running and your balance isn't your best thing, this is where you're at and you're being humble, right? You're a humble tree. And you're just working on building the stabilization in that right body. You're working, maybe you test the waters and you pick that left toe up off the floor a few times, right? Maybe you fall out, it doesn't matter, right? It's all about just challenging yourself. Get out of your comfort zone, right? If this is where you're at all the time, you're in mod 1, maybe today you try mod 2. Maybe you pick that foot up and place it on the heel. And you might shock yourself, right? Surprise yourself, it's fun. Or maybe you're up here with this mod 3, this big tree. Good. I'm gonna find some apples on this tree. How do you like them apples? Just kidding. All right, and then slowly transitioning out of this. So step your feet back together, clench the breath. Big inhale, let it go, you guys. Big exhale. Now, my favorite posture of all time is the shrub. So for all you shrubs out there, shrubs have feelings too. Okay, so we're gonna balance on that left leg. You're gonna pick the right heel up and you're gonna make a figure 4. So we're stretching through the glutes and into the hips here. Good. So again, less range of motion in the hips and the knees. You're not gonna have as much flexion, bend into the knee, nor will you have much flexion in the hips. So again, modify. Full modification is to hinge at the hips. And Steph here, if she had the range of motion, would almost lean forward with her torso even a little bit more. Good. And now as soon as you feel like you want to come out of the posture, just try to stay. Find your breath. Good. And then slowly transitioning. Push into the floor, engage your core. Watch the knees here safely come out of the posture. And we'll make our way to the other side. Breathe, you guys. Take an inhale. Let that go. Exhale. Good. Nice breathing, Stephanie. Nothing makes me happier than a nice big breath. Good. Let's come into that shrub on the other side. Trees, shrubs, and breaths. Those are the secrets to my happiness. Good. So again, setting up nice and controlled movements. Good. So if you look here at Stephanie, our mod 3, she's got this range of motion in the hips, but we're still dorsiflexing flexing that left foot. That's gonna shorten this guy. It's called your tibialis anterior, which is gonna ensure that we're not pulling on the ACL. So more than likely, we've had something going on with our knees at one point or another in our lives. So assuming that, let's make sure we keep the knees really healthy. Keep that dorsiflexion of the foot. Practice safety in your body. Good. Again, if it's too fast, you need more information, come to the tutorials, right? Come practice with precision. All right, you guys, slowly coming out. Good. Control. Take a breath in between. Big inhale. Let all of that go. Exhale. And let's find our mountain position. Hands down by the hips. Good, and we'll go through a cycle. Reach those arms up overhead. Big inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Good. Pulse at the hips. Lift up. Find energy in your body. Exhale, step back to plank position. Take a breath here. Slow exhale, lower to the floor. Big inhale into your spinal extension. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Take a breath, everybody. Breathe in. Let it go. Exhale. Make sure your heels are still tracking behind those sits bones. Push into your hands here. Push into your fingertips. Your fingertips are connected to your stabilizers between your shoulder blades. So see if you could actually even push into the pads of the fingers here and notice what happens to all the muscles between the shoulder blades. This is no action in the hand. This is action in the hand. Good. Holding here. Take 2 more breaths. Now we need to think about being 3 years old. So put your kid hat on. We're gonna move into a crow. So just walk your feet forward and we'll set this up in a nice wide squatting position. So first just bring your legs wide, place your hands to the floor, and maybe this is where you stay today. Check in with your body. Otherwise, we're gonna start to transition the weight into our hands by bending the elbows. You're trying to get your knees up onto your triceps, and from here, you're gonna start to transfer the weight onto your hands using your breath. So long inhale is gonna help get you up here. And eventually you're crossing your ankles. Good, and you're using the strength of your core to keep you here. So if you feel like you're scared of falling on your face, that's normal, right? Again, it's trying to get over that fear. Just pretend you're a kid, pretend you're young, get out of your comfort zone, right? And this is great. If you're just trying this out for the first time, you're just kind of testing out the waters, right? And maybe after coming back a few times, after doing all that stuff and strength and core and agility, you're gonna have all this strength. One day you're just gonna pop up and you're gonna shock yourself. And you're gonna be doing this everywhere you go. Like you're grocery shopping, you're in crow. You're like sitting at the bus stop, you're doing crow. You're doing it everywhere because you're so proud of yourself, you did it. All right, you guys slowly transition. Good. And we'll just cycle through. So step back to your plank position. Good, let's cleanse that out of the body. Let it go, lowering to the floor. Big inhale breath and exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath here, big inhale, big exhale, let it go. Great, coming into child's pose from here. Good, so coming down onto your hands and your knees, reaching your arms forward, head onto the floor and just rest here. Good. As soon as you bring your head to the floor, rock your forehead from left to right. Just relax, take a breath, breathe in. Good, exhale, let go. Good. And while you're here in this child's pose position, it's an opportunity just to go inwards. It's an introverted position. So just take a second, close your eyes, check in with your body, and just become aware for 10 seconds of how your body feels at this moment. And while you're here feeling your body, just start to attach a really positive thought to how you feel right now.
Okay, guys, stay in this position for as long as you like. Great practice.
We're going to move into our next series of postures and transitions. So coming from your child's pose, we're gonna make our way into downward facing dog. So reach your arms forward, spread the fingers nice and wide, curl your toes, and make yourself into that upside down V version of yourself. Good, taking some breaths here, finding the breath, inhaling and exhaling. And we'll move right away into a cycle. So shift forward into your plank position, good. Lower down through push-up. Inhale into your upward facing dog, shoulders back, back of the neck long. Exhale, squeeze your hips together, downward facing dog. Take a breath here, big inhale, let it go, big exhale. And right away, just kind of check in with your jaw. Notice if you're holding any tension in your jaw, maybe into the face. Try to soften all of the muscles of your face. Again, try not to use energy where it's not needed, right? The action's in the feet right now. It's in the hands, it's in the breath, it's in the core. And then we'll transition up towards mountain posture. So look forward, step your feet forward through to your hands, feet hip distance apart, arms beside the hips, lift and extend the spine. Exhale, little pulse, push into the feet, circle the arms up overhead, big exhale, mountain posture. Take a breath here, big inhale, let it go, big exhale. And we'll transition into this pyramid stretch. So stepping back with the left foot. Again, if you have a little bit tighter body, like my friend here, Allison, you're in mod 1, the feet are gonna be closer together. You might keep a micro bend into the right knee. Hands come down by the hips, dorsiflex flex the hands the best you can, and then come into this really slowly. So as you transition your weight forward, actively push into that left heel. You want to imagine that a string is pulling your chest forward, again, maintaining this integrity, this length into the spine. Good, holding here. And then we want to look for alignment here. So you want to make sure that this left heel, so go ahead, Allison, push your left heel to the left a little bit. Leave your toes where they were. Bring your toes back, even a little bit more. There you go. First step to do yoga, know where your toes and your feet are. I'm just kidding. Take 2 more breaths here. Good. And now transition into your warrior posture. So take a little micro bend into that right knee and start to lift your left leg up off the floor. So if you're in mod 1, that foot's not gonna come up high. If you're all the way in mod 3, the arms are gonna come forward, dorsiflexion flexion of the hand. That left foot is dorsiflex flex. Good, and you're maintaining the strength into the body. You're maintaining your balance by finding your breath. Long inhales, lift your pelvic floor wall. Long exhales, navel to spine. Learning how to integrate core and breath. The core mechanic and the breath mechanic are synergistic. They work together, mind, body. Take 2 more breaths. Beautiful. And then transition into this with a lot of safety. Bend that front knee. Step the left foot beside the right. Take a breath. Big inhale. Let it go. Big exhale. Coming back to mountain posture, working the other side. Step that right foot back. Mod 3, you have a little bit more flexibility. The feet might be even wider or longer apart from one another. Toes pointing forward, arms are forward. And then exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Good. Good. Dorsal flexion of the hands if possible. Good. Navel's pulling in. Chest is lengthening forward. Back of the neck is long. Working on this symmetry, right? Shoulders, hips are in one line. Good. Take 2 more breaths here. So again, it's easy to transition from these foundation postures from your feet into movement and balance when you feel strong and secure in your lower body. So starting to transfer the weight into that left foot, pick the right leg up off the floor and come into your warrior 3 position. Good. So again, think of this as purposeful movement. Be aware what's happening to your hips, what's happening through to your shoulders. Try to find this symmetry into the body. And think about your practice. Think about everything that you're doing. It's exactly that. It's a practice. It's like basketball practice or soccer or baseball practice. You're going to get a different result every single time that you try it. So today, your body might move one way. Tomorrow, it might be different. Notice what's happening today in your body. Keep the hips square. Dorsal flex that back foot. Take 1 more breath. This is mod 1, a little bit less range of motion in that right leg, more of a bend into the left knee. 1 more breath, you guys. Beautiful. And then push into that left foot. Let the right foot come join the left. Clench the breath. Big inhale. Big exhale. Let it go. Good. Big inhale. Breathe. Let go. Exhale. And we'll transition. So reach those arms up overhead. Hinge at the hips. Micro bend into the knees. Reach those arms back. A little pulse. And then exhale. Place the hands to the floor. Choose your mods here. Maybe the knees are to the floor, might be getting tired. Lower the chest to the floor. Upward dog on the inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Big inhale, big exhale. So remember, your downward dog is a resting position. If it feels like it's too much and your shoulders are getting tired, you feel like you need more of a break, make sure you mod down, right? If you're feeling like you're a little bit more flexible today, evolve up. Challenge yourself. All right, coming down onto the hands and the knees. We're gonna stretch to the backs of the shoulders. So finding this 4-point position. So knees under hips, dorsal flexion of the feet, hands underneath the shoulders. We're gonna give our shoulder the best opportunity for movement here. So you're gonna drive your right elbow back, open through the scapula, the shoulder blades first, and then externally rotate. And notice how much range of motion you have here. And then you're gonna thread the needle. You're gonna bring that right arm through. Maybe your head comes to the floor, maybe not. If you have more range of motion in your back body, that left arm is gonna reach all the way forward. So this is the mod 3. This is the most flexible version of this position. And we're breathing right here. So you wanna direct the breath to where you wanna stretch. So in this case, you're breathing into the space right between the shoulder blades. And then as you exhale, you're letting the right side of your head fall into the floor. There's a pressure point here for relaxation. So if you have difficulty sleeping at night, this is the guy. This pressure point on the right side of the temple. Take 1 more breath. And then let's transition back into the tabletop position. Slowly coming out of this place, both hands in neutral. Take a breath, inhale, and exhale. Again, let's do the other side. So draw that left elbow up like a bow and arrow. Get the range of motion first. Extend through the arm. Good. Spread the fingers. Find that back fascia line. And then as you exhale, bring that arm through and under. Good. Work slowly. It's more interesting when you move into these positions slowly and with awareness. And then mod 2, the elbow is going to stay bent. So the difference here is that right or that front arm is forward and extended in mod 3. And here the elbow stays bent. If you're mod 1 and you have a little bit tighter shoulder or the back is a little bit tighter, the head might not touch the floor today and the hand is going to be closer to a knee. So accommodate your body and check in. This is a good check-in point. Maybe this week you're in mod 1 and then maybe next week doing your yoga, you've evolved up to mod 2. Progress, results. Take 2 more breaths. And then coming back into this neutral position. Take a breath, big inhale, big exhale. And we'll go through a cycle. So step the feet back, you're into your plank position, transition, lowering down towards the floor. Inhale into your upward dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Once you get to your downward dog, clench the breath. Big inhale, let it go, big exhale. All right, let's get into those hips. Come down onto your hands and your knees, and you're just gonna bring your weight onto your right hip. If you have more flexibility into your hips, that left leg is gonna be all the way back like my friend Steph. If you're really tight in your hips like me, you're gonna look more like this. There's gonna be more of a bend into that back knee, and the heel of your right foot is gonna be closer to your inner thigh. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, just start to fold forward over that front leg. Again, go to the tutorials here so you really have an understanding of how to move within your own body's limitations, especially when we start getting into the hips and the knees, right? Safety first, precision, accuracy in the movement. Great. So this is the mod 3. She's got more mobility in her hips, and the arms are going to be right onto the floor, and the head might even touch the floor. And this is kind of the halfway mark, right? This is our mod 2 here with Marv. He's still getting this stretch into the hip, right, Marv? Good. He's still getting this nice extension into the spine. The back of the neck is still long. There's just a little bit less range of motion in the hip. And then slowly transitioning up. Good. So setting up for pigeon on the other side, coming down onto that left hip, and just kind of check in. Sometimes our hips feel different from one side to the other, so make sure you feel safe in your body first. And then just move into a position where you feel like you're getting a nice stretch for your hips. Start to hinge forward. Maybe bringing those hands onto the floor with the arms straight. Maybe you're up here. Good. Again, it doesn't matter where you're at today. The most important part is that you're here and you're practicing, you're stretching all of those muscles that in the evolved strength and agility, all those lunges and squats that you've been doing. This is kind of like the spa version of all of that. Good. Breathing here. Good. Close your eyes for a sec and just find your breath. The breath is what changes the body. Find your breath. Big inhale, big exhale. Great. And notice with every exhale breath how your body moves into more range of motion. It's not forced, it's just your breath. And then coming out with a lot of awareness. Come up one hand at a time. Careful, right? Knees, be careful, red flag, red flag. And then transitioning into a cycle from here. So just step into your downward dog. Walk out through the leg. Good. Let that blood kind of resurge through the whole body again. And then we'll cycle through. So shift forward into your plank position. Good. Exhale, lowering down towards the floor. Inhale into your upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. As soon as you get to your down dog, you guys take a breath. Big inhale. Clench the breath. Ha sound, exhale. Good. And then we'll come into wheel position. So working our extensors. Come down onto your hands and your knees, and then just start to make your way onto your back. Good. From here, you're gonna lie on your back, and we're gonna start to work through all the movements of the spine, opening through the entire front body. So just practice first. Make sure your toes are pointing straight forward, and then start to lift the hips up. Your mod 1 is here. So your forearms are pushing into the floor. It's like you have robot arms. And we're working our way eventually to move into a full back bend. If you're mod 2, the arms are going to extend up towards the ceiling. The action is in the feet and the shoulders here. So you're actively pushing your feet into the floor. If you're going to transition into a full wheel, you're going to reach your hands behind your head, and you're gonna come into the full extension of the spine. This is a red flag posture. Practice safety. If you feel like anything's happening in your shoulders, you need to mod down. If you're here, this is the mod 3. We have open hips, we have open shoulders. This is a huge benchmark for the entire Evolve program in terms of finding strength in the back body and this openness in the front body. Good. Check in. If you feel like you need to come out of the posture, come out of the posture. So as you're holding here, tons of benefit. We're into respiratory. Breathe into that thoracic cavity. Our thymus gland lives here. This is our immunity gland. It keeps us healthy. So if you're feeling tired, this is the posture you want to do more often. Great. And then coming out of this with a lot of awareness. Slowly lower your hips down towards the floor. Good. Relax the hands and don't do anything. Just breathe. Take a breath. Breathe in. Let go, exhale. Good. Just observe what happened in your body. Close your eyes, check in, breathe in, inhale, and let go of anything that came up, exhale. Great. And then we'll move into a nice stretch for our IT band. So starting to extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. Your arms are going to come out like a T, palms face up to the ceiling. Use your core and start to let this leg fall all the way over the body. So this is the mod 3. If you know you have more range of motion, this leg is going to be all the way out at 90 degrees, right? And the hand is going to stay on the floor. If you have a little bit less range of motion, the foot is going to be at 45 degrees. Good. The hands might be a little bit closer towards the hips. And the mod 1, the hands are closer to the hips and that right knee might stay bent. And now using the breath here, inhaling, breathing through that thoracic wall. As you exhale, pull your belly button in. That's a core mechanic, and that mechanic is going to move the upper body. So while you're lying here, there's not much action. There's nothing really to think about physically. Just focus on your breath. Big inhale, full breath. Big exhale. Find the top and bottom of every breath. Good. Start to feel how your breath can move your body. Our breath is a strong tool for everything that we're doing in strength, agility, core. Give yourself the opportunity to breathe more. Good. And then coming out of this, lots of safety in the body. Draw your belly button and use your core. Then lift that leg back up through center and change sides. Take a breath, you guys, in between. Big inhale. Let that go. Big exhale. And then we'll do the other side. So pick that left leg up. Again, if you know you have a tighter body, keep a micro bend into that knee. Slowly let the leg come across the body. And if right here you're not getting any kind of stretch into the side body, maybe you evolve up. You might see that this foot comes to the floor one day. Again, your body's going to change from day to day depending on what you've done the day before. Good. And then find your breath. Opening through this whole lateral line of the body. This is even good for lymphatic drainage. So we start to talk about the systems of the body and how synergistically this whole program is designed to invigorate all systems of the body, from circulatory to respiratory to our endocrine system. It's mind-body working together. Take one more breath. And then at the bottom of that exhale, draw your belly button in, bring that leg back up through center and change. Take a breath, big inhale, you guys. Let that go. Big exhale. All right, coming into the advanced chair posture.
So stay lying on your back.
Mod 3, you're going to have your legs extended all the way up towards the ceiling, and your hands are going to come right back behind you. And the idea here is, if you look at my back, you don't want any arch in your spine here. So you're actively pushing your belly button into your lower back. So the entire back body is pushing into the floor below you. And what this is doing is decompressing the vertebra. So if you think of just standing all day long, even if you stand on your feet, your vertebrae are getting squished together. So just by decompressing, we allow the vertebrae to separate from one another. This is so healthy for your spine and so good for your core. So notice if your lower back has started to pop up off the floor. Find your core. It's like you're squishing your belly button into the lower part of your spine. Good. Squish even more. Good. Dorsal flexion of the feet. Everything is active. One more breath. Beautiful. The difference here is just the bend of the knees. Good. Take one more breath. This is a great setup for the next posture, which is the shoulder stand. So we're going to bring some venous blood back to the heart. We're into circulatory here. So full mod, the hands are by the hips. You're lifting your hips up towards your ceiling, and you're coming upside down with the body. So again, red flag alert, right? If you know you have anything going on in your shoulders or your neck, you are not going to do this posture. You're going to stick with mod 1, which is your legs just up towards the ceiling, and practice that last posture that we did with a little bit more intensity. If you know that your shoulders are open and you have the range of motion in the back body, you're going to come into the shoulder stand. The heels of the hands are at the mid-spine. Good. The feet are in dorsal flexion. Find your opposition. It's like you're pushing your feet into a ceiling. And then you're breathing deeply into the back of the throat here. So we're squishing the chin in towards the neck. We're into our thyroid gland now. So all these yoga postures and movements have so many other benefits other than physical. Our thyroid is the one that regulates our metabolism, our energy levels. Stay here for one more breath. Great, and then coming out of this with so much awareness. So I want you to come down for 10 seconds, as slow as you can. Hugging the ribs in towards the lower part of the spine. Hugging the belly button in. You're laying one vertebra down onto the floor at a time. Good. Lots of awareness. Again, check out the tutorials for this one. Make sure you're practicing safely in your body. And then once your feet do touch the floor, coming into final relaxation, take a breath. Big inhale. Big exhale, let all of that go. Once more, breathe with me. Big inhale, breathe in. Big belly breath. Big exhale, let go. Good. So as you're lying here, think of final relaxation as your body's opportunity to evolve and change. This is the opportunity for the body to respond to what you've just demanded from it. And it's all that it's going to do today. For the body to change, it needs to rest, recover, and restore. So give yourself this gift. Just lie here. Stay here for as long as you can. Breathe deeply. Find some relaxation. Good. And then to come out of your final relaxation, just start to roll to the right side. Come to lie in a fetal position for a breath or two. Good. Come out slowly and with awareness. And then when you're ready, just come up to any seated position that feels good in your body today. Cross-legged, on your shins, on your bum. Good. Bring your hands together. Acknowledge yourself. Good. Acknowledge your friends. Good. Hello. Good job, you guys. That was the Evolve Yoga 2 extended program. Awesome job. I'm Jana, and this is Evolve.